Welcome back, aviation enthusiasts. Today, we are diving into a clash of two generations of fighter jets that represent different eras, different philosophies, and completely different approaches to air combat. On one side, we have the F-20 Tigershark, a fighter jet that was designed to be lightweight, fast, and extremely agile, representing the last gasp of the 1970s and 1980s approach to fighter design. On the other side, we have the F-35 Lightning II, the fifth-generation multi-role stealth fighter that redefines air superiority, strike capability, and sensor integration in the 21st century. So, let's break down how these two aircraft would stack up, what made each of them special, and why the F-35 is considered a game-changer in modern aviation. First, let's talk about the F-20 Tigershark. Developed by Northrop in the late 1970s and early 1980s, the F-20 was designed as an export fighter to compete with the likes of the F-16. It was essentially an evolution of the F-5 series, which had already proven itself in multiple conflicts around the world. The idea behind the F-20 was to create a highly maneuverable, cost-effective fighter that could deliver lethal performance without the price tag of the F-16. Powered by a single General Electric F404 engine, the F-20 could reach speeds of over Mach 1.8 and had an impressive thrust-to-weight ratio, giving it remarkable acceleration and climb rates. Pilots who trained on the F-20 consistently praised its responsiveness, clean handling, and straightforward avionics, which made it ideal for countries that wanted a capable air defense platform without the complications of more advanced systems. The F-20's armament was equally flexible. It could carry a variety of air-to-air missiles, bombs, and rockets, making it a versatile fighter for both offensive and defensive roles. Its lightweight and compact design also made it easier to maintain in austere environments, which was part of Northrop's pitch for it as an export fighter. Despite all of these advantages, the F-20 faced significant political challenges. The U.S. government heavily promoted the F-16 to international buyers, and as a result, the F-20 never achieved mass production. Only a handful of prototypes were built, which ultimately limited its operational footprint. Still, the F-20 remains a fascinating example of Cold War-era fighter design, prioritizing raw agility and pilot control above all else. Now, let's fast forward a few decades and talk about the F-35 Lightning II. Developed by Lockheed Martin as part of the Joint Strike Fighter program, the F-35 is a fifth-generation fighter designed to dominate modern battlefields in a completely different way. While the F-20 focused on pilot skill and agility, the F-35 emphasizes stealth, sensor fusion, networked warfare, and multi-role versatility. The F-35 comes in three variants: the F-35A conventional takeoff and landing version, the F-35B short takeoff/vertical landing variant, and the F-35C carrier-based version for the U.S. Navy. All of them share the same core technologies, including advanced radar and infrared sensors, electronic warfare systems, and data link integration that allows pilots to see a complete battlespace picture like never before. When it comes to raw performance, the F-35 cannot outturn the F-20. It's heavier, less nimble in tight dogfights, and its top speed of around Mach 1.6 is slightly lower than the F-20's. However, modern air combat isn't just about dogfighting. Stealth allows the F-35 to approach targets without being detected, and its sensors enable it to engage enemies from beyond visual range with precision-guided munitions. In a head-to-head comparison, an F-35 pilot could detect and engage an F-20 long before the F-20 even knew it was in the sky. In essence, the F-20 relies on pilot skill and raw reflexes, while the F-35 leverages technology to neutralize threats before they become a problem. Let's compare avionics and systems. The F-20 had state-of-the-art systems for its time, including a simple but effective radar, basic electronic countermeasures, and a heads-up display. Pilots could focus on flying and shooting without being overwhelmed by complexity. In contrast, the F-35 is a flying command center. Its sensor fusion integrates radar, infrared tracking, electronic intelligence, and threat data from other aircraft in real time. The helmet-mounted display allows pilots to see through the aircraft, showing a complete 360-degree view of the battlefield. Targeting and navigation are automated to a degree unimaginable in the F-20 era. Essentially, the F-35 pilots are no longer just flying a fighter, they are managing a network node in a massive air combat ecosystem. Another major difference is in weaponry. The F-20 carried traditional air-to-air and air-to-ground munitions, relying on radar-guided missiles, bombs, and cannons. It could punch above its weight in combat, but it lacked stealth and precision-guided standoff capability. The F-35, however, carries an array of modern weapons, including the AIM-120 AMRAAM, DAMs, and various precision-guided bombs. It can deliver these weapons without giving away its position, often striking before the enemy even knows it exists. Its internal weapons bays maintain stealth, while external hardpoints allow flexibility for larger ordnance when stealth is less of a priority. Of course, cost and accessibility are also key factors. The F-20 was designed to be affordable and simple to operate, making it an attractive choice for smaller air forces with limited budgets. Its simplicity meant fewer maintenance headaches and lower operational costs. The F-35, by contrast, is expensive to buy and maintain, with complex avionics, stealth coatings, and global supply chain dependencies. For wealthier nations with the need for high-tech dominance, this trade-off makes sense, but for smaller air forces, the F-20's philosophy of simplicity and effectiveness would have been more appealing. In terms of historical impact, the F-20 is something of a what could have been story. It never saw mass production, never entered full service, and its influence was limited compared to the F-16. The F-35, however, is shaping the future of aerial combat across multiple continents. It is currently operated by the US, NATO allies, Japan, South Korea, and several other nations, creating a global network of interoperable, stealthy aircraft capable of projecting power anywhere in the world. The F-35's influence on tactics, procurement, and air warfare philosophy cannot be overstated. So, if we imagine a direct confrontation between an F-20 and an F-35, the result is clear. In a traditional dogfight, the F-20 might hold its own due to its agility and pilot-centered design. But in a modern engagement, the F-35 would detect, track, and eliminate the F-20 from long range, relying on stealth, sensors, and precision-guided munitions. It's a clash not just of aircraft, but of eras, one grounded in Cold War simplicity and raw skill, the other in 21st century technology and networked combat superiority. Ultimately, comparing the F-20 and F-35 is like comparing a finely tuned sports car with a fully equipped modern battle tank in the sky. Both are incredible machines, but they were designed for completely different missions and times. The F-20 represents an era when pilots and agility were king, while the F-35 represents the age of stealth, sensor dominance, and integrated warfare. Each has its charm, each has its strengths, but in the context of modern air combat, the F-35's technological edge is undeniable. So, whether you're a fan of Cold War classics or cutting-edge fifth-generation fighters, the F-20 versus F-35 discussion gives us a fascinating glimpse into how air combat has evolved. From raw power and maneuverability to stealth and sensor fusion, this comparison shows just how far aviation technology has come. And that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into fighter jet history and modern technology, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a breakdown like this. Comment below with your thoughts. Would you rather fly the nimble, classic F-20, or dominate the skies in the ultramodern F-35? Let us know, and we'll see you in the next video.